What's up, kid? Welcome back. This is going to be a Johnny Reacts video to the E3 press conferences that have been going on and continue to go on throughout the week. Today is Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, my time, as I'm recording this. So Microsoft, PlayStation, and Nintendo have all gone already. And that's what I'm going to try and focus on mostly is just those three. Starting with Microsoft, who went first. So, the big takeaways from that, obviously, and I have a cheat sheet down here that I'm going to be going off of. The big takeaways from that is Project Scorpio, which is real, confirmed, most powerful console ever made, which is going to be very exciting. Definitely going to be picking one of those up next holiday season. Can't believe it's so soon. As in, they announced it and it's coming out in a year, not they announced it and it's coming out in 2 years, or 3. So that's very nice. I appreciated the Microsoft conference because everything was so soon. 2017 is the latest thing that we saw that's been coming out for them. Second big thing, the Xbox One S or the Slim, taking a couple notes obviously from Apple, who's mastered the release of the same thing but newer and fresher, even to the tone where it's a white console. But with that said, I have already pre-ordered that. I'll be getting that this August 31st, which is a Wednesday release. Super excited. Very, very excited for that. Next takeaway that I had personally from the conference for me was State of Decay 2. Looks really, really fun. I think the biggest struggle I will have is, depending on how involved it is, having a 4-person co-op campaign going on, which is multiplayer online on top of that. But I'll have to see more of it to really, really make a determination of how I feel about it. I love the first one. I got it the day it came out on the 360, and then when they released it on the Xbox One, picked it up then too, beat it on both of them. Love that game. Super, super fun. The next takeaway for me, sticking with games, was Dead Rising. Dead Rising 4 not being exclusive to the Xbox, which is exciting. I don't know if I'll even get it on the Xbox, to be honest with you, but we'll see. Moving away from games now, the next takeaway from that conference for me was the customizable controllers. The Xbox Design Studio, Design Lab, I think is what it's called. Really cool idea. I really liked it. And $80 for a controller is not bad. I think it's $90 if you want to engrave something on it, like your gamer tag. Really creative idea, and taking away from a market of sketchy third parties that have been doing that for a while, and really keeping it in-house, so you're getting something that you can trust from Microsoft. The next conference was obviously PlayStation. A lot of big takeaways from that. Horizon looked amazing still. We didn't really see too much new. We saw some gameplay, but I want to say I've seen that gameplay before. Not as extensive, but I've seen riding and all that stuff. Looked amazing. I can't wait for it to come out. It's sad that they pushed it back to February, but it makes sense with what's coming out this year. God of War looked really, really good. Looks super, super good. I've never been a fan of the God of War series. I felt like it's too cartoony, and then Kratos is just a really bad character that has like no emotional range. Seeing this as a Norse Kratos, but still having like the Spartan ties, it'll be an interesting story, I'm sure. It seems more realist based, where the world looks more lived in, less cartoony, and just the range that he had with his son as a father, it looked like the story is going to be really good for that one. So probably will be picking that up, waiting to see more. I won't spend too much time on the next one, which is Crash Bandicoot. Just funny that they're trying to bring it back. It's clear excuse me, that they're looking to see if they have a market by re-releasing the 3 games that did well, and then bringing it to Skylanders to see if kids are interested in the character. I fully believe that if it does well, they will make a brand new one designed for the PlayStation 4 or what is next. But it was a surprise. It was a huge surprise. You could tell by the audience reactions as well. Kojima came out to the stage with his Death Stranding. Looked like a Kojima freaking trailer. I don't really have too much to say about it. Probably won't see that game till 2019, 2020 at the earliest. The last report I saw is he didn't even have an engine that he was going to be building it out of yet, or that team's going to be building out of it. But it was cool for him to show up and show his face. Very, very interesting. Resident Evil 7 looked good. Fully VR, huge campaign to be fully VR, so that'll be interesting. They showed PSVR and games that are exclusive to it, which was really, really cool. I'm not quite sold on being first generation to VR for the PlayStation, but I might be. I just have to see more. Like the Star Wars game looked cool. Batman sounds cool. See how that ties in. Resident Evil looked good, but I'm not a horror game genre type of player. But it looked interesting enough to definitely grab my attention. So we'll see. Moving on from that, the biggest takeaway for me from the conference was the Spider-Man reveal. Rocking my Amazing Spider-Man shirt. Yeah, I freaked out when that came out on the stage. I was grabbing my necklace, which is Ashes of My Brother, because it looked like the game we always talked about and dreamed about having. And I freaked out. I will be honest, I'm a 30-year-old man, saw Spider-Man swinging in Manhattan and lost my shit. It looked truly, truly amazing. I hope to God that Insomniac really brings it full-fledged into a true Spider-Man story and really fleshes out that world. But I have nothing but faith in them that they can make a Spider-Man game that makes you feel like you're Spider-Man or Peter Parker. Super, super, super excited for that. That's probably a 2017 game at the earliest. That's leading into my next point, which is PlayStation really showcased kind of what I don't really like about E3, but I get why it's there, which is announce games that are so far in the future, like Death Stranding, where I know we will not see that game, any demos or anything for it before 2019. There's just no way. But here it is, 2016. They're already announcing the game, the title. Norman Reedus is the lead actor for it. Like, that's all very interesting and exciting news, but it's now you have the anticipation game where people's minds are just gonna go into different places and you're gonna disappoint a large amount of your audience. Very opposite of what Microsoft did, where it's this is coming, this is how short the distance is, this is coming, this is how short it was. This is coming, we're not really gonna say when it's coming out. This is coming, here's another trailer, we're not really gonna say when it's gonna come out. And so that part of the PlayStation conference I didn't really enjoy. The games, amazing. All of them looked really, really good. And that Spider-Man game, I'll tell you what, if I didn't have a PlayStation already, that would have convinced me to go out today and buy a PlayStation. Leading into now the Nintendo, 2 games, Pokemon Sun and Moon and Zelda, both looked really, really good. The Pokemon game looked awesome. I like the new encounter system. When you're walking up to a trainer, rather than just walking into them and then the battle starting, you get like this cone of vision where you get closer and it zooms in, almost like eye contact, like in an anime, when you're like looking at your enemy. And that part of it looked really, really cool. You can now go around if you want to, and a lot of the trainers that I saw when you're out in the open in the world, there's two paths. You can go up to the trainer, or you can go around once you start getting that cone of vision, which is awesome. Because that was one of my biggest pet peeves of Pokemon for a long time, was you just came from a battle, you don't really have a Pokemon that's able to fight, and now you're stuck into another battle, or you have to go all the way back. Either way, you have to go back, because if you lose the battle, you go back to whatever center is closest to you. So this looks like it's a nice, cool way of avoiding that type of situation. And then Zelda, I'll tell you what, man, that game, as delayed as it's been and hyped as it's been, it looked to me like it was going to live up to it. Not knowing too much about what their new system's going to be, I think I will probably wait to get it until I see the new system and how it's running, with what all the graphics and fidelity and all that information is for it. But even if I don't like the new system, I will 100% get it for the Wii U. It just looks like the Zelda game I've always wanted, where I can do what I want, when I want, how I want to play, and you have to really explore the world to get the most out of it. Super excited for that game. Looks really interesting. If you haven't seen any of these trailers, I highly recommend checking them out. I've only touched a little portion of the conference. A lot more to cover, but I wanted to get something out there on the three major companies that visit E3 every year. With the exception of Nintendo, who usually doesn't really visit E3 every year anymore. But yeah, the biggest takeaway for me, obviously Spider-Man, as I mentioned, and Project Scorpio is going to be a beast. I really think that the leak of Neo, they would have presented something had they not known Microsoft was going to bring out the Scorpio and just blow the conference away with a console that's not a next gen console. It's this gen tied in, but next gen kind of nostalgia to it. It looks amazing, and I honestly, I can't wait. Again, I am super excited that they did only mention it a year ahead of time, and I could assume pre-orders are going to be coming out sometime in February, January, somewhere around there. So even less time if you think about it. It's very exciting. And yeah, that was my takeaway from the conference so far. I'll continue watching and bringing in content. But hit the like button, subscribe. Let me know what you thought. If you saw any of those trailers, what games do you think look super interesting to you? Comment, tell a friend, and take it easy. Have a wonderful day, guys.